G'day folks, Connor here, back with another video, and today I'm doing the Canon R50 2025 review. Now you might ask yourself, why review it in 2025? Well, the truth is I did review it when it first came out and I loved it. I thought it was a really good camera for the price. I took it on some trips, used it a lot for street photography, used it for filming YouTube videos, but it sort of got forgotten by a lot of people. With so many camera releases these days with such great specs, the R50 is often overlooked. But I think for the price, it's one of the best that you can get, even in 2025, and I'll tell you why. Right now I'm filming in 4K, 25 frames per second. Autofocus is on, and I think I have a really, really nice image. What do you think about this image? Comment down below. Do you think this is a good quality image? For me, I think it is for the price. Now you can pick up a Canon R50 for about $1,000 in Australia. It's probably around 500 US. Maybe cheaper over there, I'm not sure, but $1,000 here. The Sony a6400 is currently $1,400 for a lens and body. Same setup as now. So you're $400 more out of pocket straight away. Fuji X-T30 with a lens is coming in at around $1,700. It's around $1,200 with no lens. So again, you're looking at a much higher price point straight away, like a third of the price more for some of the competitors that are currently out there. Now there are some newer ones on the market, like the Fuji X-M5. Looks great, but it costs more. If you're going to spend more, you're going to get more. But if you've only got $1,000 Australian, I think this is a pretty good image for $1,000. Now there are some weak points of the Canon R50, which I will get into, and I've done other videos on as well. But overall, I really do love it. Now another amazing quality of the Canon R50 is the straight out of camera image quality. So what you're seeing right now is unedited. I will edit some, and you'll see the difference, but right now this is an unedited image, 4K, 25 frames per second. We are talking f1.8 and ISO 100. So we've got a pretty shallow depth of field here. This is the sort of image you could get with, say, the RF 50mm f1.8. Now to go with that out of camera image quality, you also have some pretty awesome autofocus. For this price point, we have that subject detect autofocus, works with people, objects, cars, animals, that sort of thing. So you're getting a pretty good image quality with some incredible autofocus. I think some of the best autofocus on the market. I mean, right now, this autofocus is pretty good. This is f1.8. If I walk in like this, it focuses on me. I come back out like this, and it focuses on me very, very good. So that's the sort of autofocus you're always going to get on the R50. It's incredible for the price. I do think Sony is up there with it, but again, you're going to pay more money for the same quality. Another great thing for me for the Canon R50 is the size of it. The body, lens combinations, all fits in a small bag. You can go out, do street photography and videography all day and not feel the weight. And I'll show you this here, 3 lenses, microphones, spare batteries, ND filters, the Canon R50, everything you can think of packed in there for a day trip. So if you're a traveler, it's definitely a great kit for traveling. Also for vlogging, it's very light. You can put the kit lens on and the camera body, and you've got a very light setup. It does have the flip out screen. Most cameras do these days, but some still neglect to put it on. I think it is a very important thing for a video-centric camera. You've got to have the flip out screen. Like I can look at myself now, make sure I'm in focus, make sure that I'm in the frame, make sure nothing I don't want in the frame is out of the frame. So it really does come in handy for that video work, and I would highly recommend whatever camera you get in 2025 that it does have a flip out screen if video and vlogging is your thing. Now with the video stabilization, there is a crop, and you have 3 different modes: no stab, middle stab, and complete stab, I guess you will call it. But it is very digital. You lose image quality, and you do get a lot of artifacts creep into the video when you start using the full crop mode. And I'll link here to a video which shows that in high detail, and you can see the difference between gimbal and no stabe and no gimbal and full stabe. It's a no-brainer. Put the Canon R50 on a small gimbal. Okay folks, this is the Canon R50 10 to 18mm EFS lens from back in the day. So no stabilization in the lens and no stabilization turned on in the camera. If I'm standing still, it's not too bad of an image, but you still do get a bit of janky going on with the stabilization or lack of it. So especially when I walk like this, you're going to see some real problems with the stabilization. And that's something you do have to consider when you're using the Canon R50. Now it does have no stabe, mid-level stabe and high-end stabe. Not high-end stabe, high-level stabe, and I will show you the second level now. Okay, so this is cropped in a little because we're in mid-level stabilization right now, so you'll probably notice that it's not quite as janky. It's still not the best image because of the capabilities of the camera and the lens, but this is 10 to 18mm. This is the wide angle 10mm mid-level stabe on the Canon R50. Interested to know your thoughts. Is it too wobbly for you, even with mid-level? But for me, it is important that you can see how wide it is, 10mm, even cropped in a little bit for stabilization. You still get a really wide image. Let's now jump into full stabilization, digital, and see how cropped in it is there and the artifacts that creep in. Okay, here we are, 10mm, APS-C sensor, Canon R50, stabilization on. I remember when I did a comparison between Canon R50 on a gimbal and Canon R50 with stabilization, I was so disappointed with the R50 stabilization because of the artifacts that crept in. But if this is all you got, then this is all you got. Now, I'm not walking around too much, I'm just standing still, but if I do walk, you will see how bad the stabilization is, or how good it is. You have to excuse the wind, just picked up really badly. But this is the stabilization, Canon R50. Big crop, big stabilization. How bad is it? I think it's passable, especially for the price point. I don't think you're going to get much better from some of the others as well, again, for this price point. But something I have noticed, nearly all vlogging these days is done on like the DJI Action 5 Pro or whatever it's called. So something to consider. If you do get an action camera, you don't have any photography. And one other point about this that I absolutely love is that it does have a viewfinder. So if you are big time into photography, you will definitely appreciate that and learn a lot from having a viewfinder. Anyway, you've also got a mic jack in, you have a mini HDMI port, and you also have a USB-C port. Hot shoe up the top for Canon accessories, or cold shoe for other accessories, depending on how you want to work it. And there's a few buttons and dials on the back, enough to make it customizable to suit you, but not like a high-end camera. So, now they are saying it is an entry-level camera. I really do believe that. One, for the price. Two, it's very user-friendly, like the menu, the systems, everything. It's easy to pick up, easy to understand. I think that's one of the real main features going for it, is how easy it is to use. Another thing I should mention is the lens selection. Now, there isn't many cheap lenses for the RFS lineup. There is quite a few RF lenses now, but they're still quite expensive compared to the old EF setup. But the solution for me to that is to get the RF to EF adapter. So I have a 50mm 1.8, a 10 to 18mm EFS lens, and a EF 24mm f2.8, and they're from back in the day when I had a Canon 700D. I bought the adapter and they work on this camera perfectly, and I will show you that when I'm blogging as well, to highlight how wide the 10 to 18mm is. And I don't really think there's a cheap equivalent in the RFS lineup. The kit lens is 15 to 45, but 10mm on an APS-C camera is very wide, and I think we're missing that in this price point. But you know, this is actually filmed on a $2,700 lens, the Canon VCM voice coil motor, RF 35mm f1.4 lens. So it is a ball terror of a lens, high end, and that's adding to this image quality, but you can still get the 35mm RF lens as well that is f1.8, and right now I am filming on f1.8, so the depth of field should be the same. For me, one of the main reasons to get the Canon R50, if you're a bit of an all-rounder photographer, you know, you don't quite know what you're going to do yet with your photography, you like travel, you like street, you like portraits, the Canon R50 is going to serve you really well. I think it's a great all-rounder. Now, I have seen it very cheap on Amazon. I will link to it down below. Remember, I do get a kickback if you do purchase through my links, and I appreciate it if you do. But I can honestly say that to me, the Canon R50 is a great camera. That's why I still have it. I haven't sold it. I've got the R6 Mark II. Quite often I'll pick up the R50 and go and do my street photography. It is a very capable little camera. All in all, the Canon R50 is still a great camera for the price in 2025. I would definitely recommend it. In fact, just late last year, a friend of mine went overseas for a holiday. He wanted a camera to take. He wanted a mirrorless camera with an interchangeable lens setup, and I could not recommend anything else but the Canon R50 because of the price. If someone says, hey, I've got 10 grand, what should I get? Or $20,000, what should I get? It's a different conversation. But if someone's only got $1,000, not sure if they're really gonna love photography, then this is one of the best options out there. Now, I'm actually off overseas on a street photography trip, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, because there will be lots of video and photography coming your way. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video.